The college basketball experience summer coaches tour edition of the Mercer men's basketball coach Ryan Ritter edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with our promo code TCESGPN to score up to $1,000 bonus in cash. Underdog Fantasy promo code TCESGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM today. Welcome, everybody, into the college basketball experience summer coaches tour. We got the head coach of the Mercer Bears coming up here in just a little bit. Talk about his first couple months on the job, taking over after did an unbelievable job at UT Martin. Great job at Daytona State back in the day, and Bethune Cookman as well. He's won wherever he's been. Coach Ritter, that is, and we'll sit down with him and talk a little Mercer basketball. But first off, I am Moneyline Mac, aka the former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin. Also known as Mac Tonight over here at the College Basketball Experience. Almost forgot to cheers you guys. Happy Wednesday night, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great week so far. Looking forward to bringing on Coach Ritter here in a couple minutes. Took over the Mercer program in the SoCon in April after going 48-47 at UT Martin. Rebuilt that, eight wins his first year, then got up to 22, won the OVC regular season last year. Unbelievable job, won at Bethune Cookman and Daytona State. So we'll talk with him here in a little bit. But I want to talk about Underdog Fantasy because over here at the College Basketball Experience, we are brought to you by the Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with our promo code. It's football season, TCESGPN, to claim your special pick and first-time deposit. Offer up to $1,000 bonus in cash. That is the Underdog Fantasy promo code, TCESGPN. Back over here at the College Basketball Experience. Let's get right into it. Let's bring on Coach Ritter of the Mercer Bears. And we continue our summer coaches tour on the College Basketball Experience with the head coach of the Mercer Bears, Coach Ryan Ritter. Ryan, how are you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. Appreciate you having me on, Ryan.
Great minds think alike. Good to talk to another Ryan, and let's get right into it. Coach, just fill everybody in what you guys have been up to. I know you got the job in April. It's been a chaotic, I'm sure, 4 months for you. As we rapidly approach that November 4th date?
Well, I think, just like a lot of new guys when they take over a new program, just getting acclimated to Mercer University, Macon, Georgia, the community around here, just, trying to figure out the niche at Mercer. Obviously you had a lot of work to do in terms of roster construction and retain, some really key players here when we took over, and then, signed a boatload, 10 or 11 more of them. So, it's been a busy summer. Obviously got those guys all in here and got to work and trying to put together a game plan, but really excited. School starting and school starts. It means football and basketball right around the corner.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's the best time of year. These next couple months as we get into football and then we get right into that November 4th. It comes quick. Coach, before we talk about your current team, I want to rewind and talk about your playing career. You played at College of Wooster and then Embry-Riddle. Just talk about your playing career and when you knew you wanted to get into the coaching industry after playing.
Yeah, I mean, my dad's been in college coaching for a long time, over 40 years, been at Embry-Riddle for the past, 34, 35 years as the head coach down in Daytona Beach. But got a chance to go play for a great coach, Steve Moore, up at College of Wooster for 2 years. And, just learned a ton and then had a chance to transfer back and play for my dad at Embry-Riddle the last 2 years. And really kind of going into my senior year, I wanted to play professional basketball. Thought I was going to go play. And then I realized, I was averaging about 4 points a game and probably wasn't going to be the best opportunity for me. So I think it became pretty apparent that, I knew I wanted to coach. I wanted to impact young people, and using basketball as a vehicle to do it. And no better person to learn from my dad playing the last couple of years. And so I had a chance to work with him a little bit. And now here we are, Macon, Georgia, Mercer University.
And then from there, Coach, you paid your dues. You break into the industry. A couple assistant spots, North Raleigh Christian, where you played as well for your dad, and then Campbell after that. Talk about, though, when you get your first head coaching job in 2013 at Daytona State at one of the better JUCOs. What was that like early on as a head coach?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I was very fortunate. You said, I worked in high school, worked for my dad, and then worked for Coach Robbie Lang at Campbell University. Had a great staff up there. Learned a ton. Learned about the Division I level. But age 28, I had an opportunity to be a head coach, and I grew up in Daytona Beach, so Daytona State was very familiar with it. Knew a lot about it. They were coming on, a couple tougher years, and took over a program that was 6-25, and there 4 years, and just learned a lot by trial by fire, to be honest. Knew I didn't have all the answers, but thought if I could just find a way to get really good players in there, hold them accountable, get them to play together, we could figure out how to win some games. And there 4 years, and very fortunate, won 4 conference championships, and ultimately led me, obviously to Bethune Cookman.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got it figured out pretty quickly. 95 and 28 in just 4 years there. But you mentioned it, you teased it. You go over to Bethune Cookman, you go over to the MEAC. What did you take away from your JUCO days that helped you prepare for the MEAC with all the different HBCUs in that league?
Well, I think the first thing was, it's all about genuine relationships. It doesn't matter what profession you're in, or it doesn't matter the adjusting, changing landscape. It really does go back to genuine relationships, and that's with your staff, that's with your administration, that's with your players. And it doesn't mean it's all sunshine every day. It doesn't mean that everyone has great days every single day. But it means that you're valuing people. And I think when I went to Bethune Cookman, it was very similar to Daytona State, where I had to learn a lot, trial by fire, and very fortunate in year one to win a championship that had only been done once there in the previous 30 years. And we did that because we got really good student athletes. We got really good players to buy into each other and something bigger than themselves. And so I think the biggest thing I took was relationships, but also you got to have some non-negotiables with your program, but you got to be flexible approach. And some things that I was doing in junior college maybe weren't going to work at Bethune Cookman, but some things that I was doing, maybe I could translate and it would work at the Division I level. So I think just having solid footing of knowing who you are, having non-negotiables, but not being so rigid that you can't change your approach to some different things.
And then from there, Coach, another winning tenure for you. You go over to UT Martin, and it's a rebuild job when you take over, but it's also a rebuild job and probably the most chaotic point in college basketball with the portal, the NIL. How did you navigate the changes that were coming over these last 3 years as you built it from 8 wins to 19, then up to 21 this last year when you had a special team?
Well, you said it. It was a unique experience. Obviously, coming back after COVID, taking over a program that had really fallen on some tough times. With Coach Anthony Stewart had passed away, and so there was a lot of change in that first year. And I think even for myself personally, I was married. I had 2 children at the time, and to move from Ormond Beach, Florida, where all our family is, moving to rural West Tennessee, that was a big change. You go from living a half mile from the beach to living in rural West Tennessee was a big change. So I think that first year, I know the wins don't show it. We were 8-22, and that was tough. I mean, I'm not going to lie, going, man, did I make the right decision? Can we really win here? That was tough. But I think what that team did is if you walked in our locker room, you wouldn't know we were 8-22. They set a foundation of winning habits, and we just ran out of time during the year to prove it on the court. And I'm thankful for that first group because we retained a lot of those guys. And then in year 2, we signed a really good recruiting class, and you go from 8 to 19 wins. A lot of people are involved in that. So I think the biggest thing from year 1 to 2, we found the niche at UT Martin, what fit UT Martin, what fit that administration, what fit that school, what fit that community. We targeted it, and we made a major jump from year 1. And then, honestly, it's crazy, but from year 2 to year 3, there's only a 2-win difference, but that's a huge jump from third place to first place. There's just so many things that have to go right and have to go your way. And, credit both those years, year 2 and 3, just a bunch of dudes that were bought into winning and really proud of our tenure at UT Martin.
Yeah, I love the OVC, the conference tourney in Evansville. But Coach, you mentioned it. We talked about 3 different stops, 3 different programs you've built up. How have you changed over the last 10 years as being a head coach and into the coach you are today?
It's a great question. I think it's funny. I think it comes from, my personal life. I think, like I said, I'm married. I've got 3 kids now. I think I've become more patient. I think early on in my career, I was young when I was 28 when I got my first head coaching job. So I had to be disciplined every day. We had to do this. We had to do this. And I was so, paranoid about certain things. And I think as you grow older and you look at these young men as truly your kids, you have a lot more grace. You have a lot more forgiveness. Doesn't mean you don't love them anymore. Doesn't mean you don't hold them accountable. But I think my approach has probably softened in off the court in terms of, I'm not afraid to tell guys I love them. I'm not afraid to give them big hugs. I embrace. I want them to feel joy when they walk into the locker room. I think that would probably be the biggest transformation, from age 28 to almost 40 now. I think I'm an intense competitor. I hate losing. Our teams are going to be tough. We're going to play really hard. We're going to play together. But I think the off court probably relationships of just getting to see that, they get to see me as a dad. They get to see me as a husband. They get to see hopefully someone that they can model some characteristics at when they leave here playing basketball.
And Coach, now you're at Mercer. You're in the SoCon, one of the more underrated leagues, in my opinion, in America. You got programs like Samford, Furman, ETSU, Greensboro that have won tournament games. Mercer won a tournament game once upon a time when they beat Duke about a decade ago. What are your initial thoughts on just the SoCon and the different coaches and different playing styles as you head into a new league?
Well, you said it. I mean, underrated. I think last year's the 11th ranked league in the country. I mean, there's 32, 33 leagues in the country. We're 11th. You just named 5 programs that have won an NCAA tournament game in recent history. So I think that clarifies it right there that, we're playing in one of the better mid-major leagues in the country. And it's a really unique basketball league. I think there's unbelievable coaches. If you look at the last, 5 to 10 years, all these guys have gone on to, to high major programs. And so our league, night in and night out, like most leagues, there's just not there's no off nights. And the basketball that's played in this league, it's really good basketball. There's a lot of guys that can really coach offensively. It's one of the most efficient, one of the best offensive leagues in the country. So I think you're getting into a league where, hey, if you have a chance to compete at the top 1, 2, or 3, you feel like you got a real chance to go win a game in March. And I think when I started coaching 15, 20 years ago, the dream was to play in March Madness, and now you're doing it in a league where, hey, not only do you have a chance to maybe coach in it, you got a chance to maybe knock a team or 2 off up there.
100%. It's every single year the SoCon, whoever the 4 or 5 seed that draws the SoCon champ is like, oh shit, yeah, because that's it. You're getting a well coached and prepared team. So, Coach, I want to ask you as well. Outside of your dad, is there anybody that's really had the biggest impact on your career from a coaching philosophy standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously, I grew up with my dad, and it's funny. My mom's actually a huge part of the way I coach. She was an educator. She was a high school principal. So in terms of the way we run programs, it's really been from those 2. But when it terms basketball, I was really fortunate. Coach Lang took a chance. I was 25 years old, hired me as an assistant coach at Campbell University. Coach Lang's now at UCF. Have really learned a lot from him. Obviously, Brian Berg was on staff with me, was a head coach at Georgia Southern. So really have gained some insight from those guys. But there's been so many people that, have just really poured into me the last 15 years that I've been able to take snippets from. And, the cool part, Ryan, is I've been a head coach. I'm going into my 11th or 12th year now. And so it's really fun to go around and really just Brad Underwood been tremendous to me. Has spent so much time pouring into me of, hey, it might be a defensive ball screen philosophy, maybe recruiting, and maybe the changing landscape. But I'd say in terms of, working for Coach Lang was so appreciative. They took a chance on me when I was 25, but so many good coaches out there that I've taken nuggets from.
Absolutely. And I always say on this show, the best coaches they spend some time at the JUCO level at some point because they learned how to do a little bit of everything, get maximized with little resources. And once they get to a place where they got a bunch of resources, it's no secret why they always thrive. So I know you're going to be the next man in line to do so. I know you've only been at Mercer for 4 months, but what makes Mercer University a special place?
I think there's quite a few things. I think, you hit on earlier, playing in the SoCon, man, that's a really fun league. But I think, every great program, organization, institution, it starts with leadership, and I really believe, Jim Cole, our athletic director, I think he's got a great vision. I think he wants to be successful. I think the people around him, our president, President Underwood, he wants to see basketball be successful. He wants our student athletes to have a great student athlete experience here. So I think the first thing is our leadership is top notch. They're giving us an opportunity to be successful in terms of the changing landscape. There's a lot of factors that go into that, but I think they understand the reality of where we are in college basketball, and it is a changing every I want to say every day or week, but it's really every hour. But I think they're in tune with it. I think they want to give us a chance to compete. And then the second part I mentioned is playing in the SoCon, being back in the South. I love Macon. We've got an unbelievable following here at Mercer University. When you get this thing going, that gym, it gets rocking. I remember being back here in 2011, 12 when Coach Hoffman was here and I was an assistant at Campbell. We'd walk in here, man, this thing felt like Cameron Indoor. It was people were fired up about it. So I get the chills right now because I'm thinking about November 7th, our home opener, packing this baby out.
No doubt, no doubt. And that gets me right into my final question. You've taken a bunch of your time. This more so open-ended for all the Mercer Bears fans that will watch this. What is your message in year number 1 as we head into November 4th?
I think my message would be, hey, we've done a heck of a job getting the right people in here. We've got great staff, guys that are close to me, guys that have different talents, guys that have different skill sets. We're diverse. And the second part that we've got the right guys in here in terms of student athletes. I don't know how many games we're going to win. I really don't. I don't think anybody does, but I know we've got the right pieces in here, man. They're coming in every day. They're giving us their best effort no matter what we're asking them to do. And I'm fired up to coach this team. We talk about 3 things every day: be tough, be together, and be unselfish. And that's a hard thing to do it every single day. And the 6.5 weeks we're here this summer, our group knocked it out. Now, does that equivalent into wins in year 1? We sure hope so. But at the end of the day, I know what we're doing. I know it works. I know we've got a plan and just fired up to be a Mercer Bear. Hopefully we can get, all former alumni, all supporters. Let's band together and let's build something special again and get this place rocking.
Let's get it rocking. Like you said, it's a proud program. It's won before. It'll win again under you. They got the right guy in charge. Coach Ritter, I appreciate you stopping by the College Basketball Experience. Best of luck in your first season at Mercer, and look forward to definitely having you back on.
I appreciate it, my man.
Thanks, Coach. Coach Ritter of the Mercer Bears. Appreciate him stopping by the College Basketball Experience. Looking forward to seeing where he takes this program. We've mentioned Mercer in the past in the SoCon. They've beaten Duke in the NCAA tournament. They've had success. They'll have it again in the state of Georgia. Love the fit there. This was one of my favorite hires in this offseason. So looking forward to see what he could do with this program and just give us another good team in the SoCon, which is one of our favorite leagues. Let's talk about our sponsors right here before we head on out. Because over here at the College Basketball Experience, we are brought to you by Rhythm. Get on over there, your database, and then build your model today. I had Georgia Tech week 1. I think that was a winner against Florida State. So let's see what happens week 1 here coming up. So make sure you claim your 7-day free trial today by going over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM today. Back over here at the College Basketball Experience. Thank you to Coach Ritter and the Mercer Bears for taking the time to come on the College Basketball Experience. Sorry, I can't talk right now. We got Coach Taylor from Elon coming on tomorrow, so can't wait for that one. And man, it's August 28th. November 4th will be here before we know it. And we're gonna have these previews, conference previews on the other side of Labor Day. So less than a week from today. Me and Noah will start it up. Colby will be sprinkled in a little bit here and there just with all his college football content. Go check out the bracketology show that we did, Colby and I, last night with college football. Can't wait. Mercer Bear fans, go check out the FCS experience as well. We break down all the FCS teams in college football. But, of course, make sure you subscribe, like the college basketball experience. We're here every single night in the season. Hell, we're here every day in the off season as well. So like it, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a cousin. I don't care who you tell. Just help us help you. And it really helps the channel grow in the future. Once again, thank you to Coach Ritter of the Mercer Bears. We'll get Coach Taylor on here tomorrow from the Elon program out there in the CAA. Enjoy that conversation that will air tomorrow. Another edition, baby, of the Summer Coaches Tour in the books. And Mac tonight. Cheers, everybody. Mac tonight signing off over here at the College Basketball Experience. November 4th is coming. You better start thinking about yours. And we are out of here.